LeBron James fumbled his last chance to chase one more NBA championship by accepting his $53 million player option. Let me explain why. First, a couple caveats. I think LeBron James is the GOAT. This is not a critique of his legacy, more just a critique of an opportunity to win another championship. He didn't take it, and I completely understand why. Caveat number two, I know LeBron loves being in LA. And then to pair with that, Bronny is also in Los Angeles. So I totally understand wanting to stay with the Lakers and play with your son. It might not be an option to get Bronny onto the team that you're trying to go to and chase a ring. So totally get wanting to play with your son. And then caveat number three, LeBron James is the most underpaid NBA player of all time. Don't believe me? Name another player that's played 20 plus seasons and seen the league increase in value like this has been going on for the past 10, 15 years. And he has been the staple of that. I understand he signed max contracts and taken, $50, $60 million a year, but LeBron James is worth probably $200 million a year for the entirety of his career. And it might still be an underpay in the NBA. Obviously, cap situation is different, and that's why LeBron doesn't get that kind of money. But if there was no cap, that would absolutely be something on the table for a guy of LeBron James's caliber. So now let me get into this topic. I think LeBron sold and fumbled the bag, didn't go chase another championship. He accepted the $53 million player option, which I think, given the current situation with the NBA cap, the first and second apron combined with obviously the luxury tax, teams are not going to add a 40-plus-year-old man on a $53 million contract. Now, granted, LeBron, once again, All-NBA second team last year, top 10 in assists, last year, led his team to the third seed in the Western Conference while trading their second best player for Luka Doncic in the middle of the season. Amazing stuff from LeBron. I think he's still a top 15 player in the league. But to sign LeBron James onto a team that's trying to contend like Cleveland, it would take an astronomical amount of trades or signing agreements that would take forever to develop. For example, the Cavs right now are at $207 million in cap right now. So that's over the first and maybe 217 million. They're over the soft cap, the first apron, and the second apron. So as of right now, they could not sign LeBron James regardless, especially with the $53 million. Now, if LeBron were to sign for a $20 to $24 million deal, all they would have to do is move Darius Garland and I believe Max Strus or another role player of that contract caliber, and LeBron could easily sign, and the Cavaliers would still have room to add a couple more veteran pieces. That would be the dream, in my opinion. Cleveland was the best team in the East in the regular season last year. I genuinely think they could have made a better run with LeBron. Obviously, Darius Garland was injured going into the playoffs last year. He played injured versus the Pacers. So imagine a healthy LeBron with Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley coming into his prime, Jarrett Allen, the Lob City finisher and rebounder. This team defensively would be good. LeBron would be the captain on both ends of the floor. Donovan Mitchell is your primary scorer. I really do think that Cavaliers team with LeBron James running the point would be unbelievable. And with a wide open East, that's the second thing I want to talk about. No Boston Celtics next year. Jaylen Brown is going to be ready for training camp, but will he be 100%? Maybe not. Jason Tatum, obviously going to miss the majority of next year, if not the whole season. The New York Knicks have not found their coach yet. They went through the draft with no coach, and they're talking about signing experimental coaches. I personally like the Don Staley hire if they were to do that, but we don't know where they're going yet. So this is a team that is not put together correctly from the top down yet. The Atlanta Hawks, not a contender as of right now in my mind. Then, of course, the finals run, the Indiana Pacers, the Eastern Conference champion, Tyrese Halliburton, out for all of next season. The Orlando Magic, in my opinion, are still too young to make a finals run. So the only team that comes to mind that made the playoffs last year that could do it again with an upgrade like LeBron are the Cleveland Cavaliers. they could do it. Now, other teams that you could mention are like the Philadelphia 76ers with Embiid, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, and now their rookie VJ Edgecombe. I totally get that one, but they're very similar to the Knicks in that the ducks are not in a row. The house is not well, and the calls are coming from inside, and it's crumbling. So I do not think the 76ers are a finals contending team next year, especially given the injury history of their best players. So with all that being said, LeBron, of course, did not take that option. He chose to take his player option. There are a ton of he said, she said rumors about whether or not he's going to try to request a trade. I just don't think it's very feasible unless you're going to get traded to a team like San Antonio, which I think LeBron James is bigger than the franchise of San Antonio. No offense to them, but for LeBron to go back to a small market, it would have to be a very niche one. And to me, that's his home in Cleveland. That would have to be the scenario. I don't think he's going to get traded to Milwaukee. The only other team that I think that has been kind of rumored to want to trade for him is the Dallas Mavericks. And even then, I think it would be extremely complicated for the Mavericks to get LeBron onto their team. A ton of salaries would have to be moved back and forth. You would probably have to involve a third, maybe even a fourth team into that kind of trade agreement. So it seems very unlikely that between now and the start of training camp in September that would happen. I don't know. The idea of Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves running it back yet again doesn't sit well with me. Yes, they were able to get some chemistry later down the stretch of the final parts of the regular season, but in the playoffs, it all just kind of unraveled. Luka, of course, everybody knows him as a defensive liability. Now, he probably is the best offensive player in the league right now, but as far as being a defensive liability, he is that. LeBron, in my opinion, still a capable post defender, but not somebody that you would define as good to great on the perimeter. So you've really got your best two players are kind of defensive liabilities, and the rest of that roster doesn't strike me as, elite defensively. They just lost Dorian Finney-Smith to the Houston Rockets. He signs a deal there as a free agent. So you've got a lot of wing defenders that you need to find to be competitive with the Lakers. I do like the big three of LeBron, Luka, and Reeves, but once again, last year, the Lakers were missing a big man, especially in the playoffs. That's really where I want to go with this. Of course, LeBron is going to say, I'm trying to win and I'm trying to win it all with the Lakers. But thinking back to last year, the Timberwolves were maybe the third or fourth best team in the West. They beat the Lakers 4-1. They beat them in 5 games. And then the Timberwolves got bounced by the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. I genuinely think that exact same scenario would happen to the Lakers if they had beaten the Timberwolves. The Thunder are just far and away the best team in the West. And so for you to try to get to the finals, I think your best option, if you're a LeBron, a Steph Curry, a Kevin Durant, is to get to the East. You don't want to lose in the Western Conference Finals, or even worse, lose in the first or second round after getting matched up with the Thunder. You want to take your final shot in the final stage of the finals with the Thunder there. The Pacers almost had him, and I genuinely think a team like the Cavaliers with LeBron at the helm would be unbelievably far and away better than the Indiana Pacers were last year. Now, I'm a big Pacers doubter, but overall, LeBron, this is it. This is the final stage of his career. We've all been watching and seeing it now for a few years. I thought maybe with one last breath, he would go for one more championship, but he's deciding to stay home, and for good reason. He's going to make more money. He's going to be very close to his family. He's going to be with the franchise that he's been with for years and years and years now. I think this will end up being his longest stint with the team ever. So congrats to LeBron James on the greatest career in the NBA's history. He is indeed the GOAT. But man, would I love to add a 5th ring to that GOAT argument. That being said, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.